and thanks for taking the time to watch this week's Oldtown short, Hanging of the Greens. Why do we do this? What does it mean? We gather together to hang up the greens? Like kale and spinach and broccoli and peas? If we were making a salad, that would certainly please. But we're here in worship, preparing the way for a baby that's coming on Christmas Day. Oh, as we hang up the greens, we prepare our hearts and make room for hope. That's a great place to start. And we gather with others throughout all the ages who have straightened their paths and listened to sages. So today we decorate our beloved church home with symbols of hope and a sweet, simple poem to tell the story again and again of the one who came and is coming for women, children, and men. Emmanuel, they say, is his name, meaning God is with us. Let us sing the refrain. On the first day of Advent, in the Middle Ages, they say, peasant families would come from work and from play to gather evergreens from nearby trees to place in their homes near their hearth with ease, to remind them of God's abiding love that always comes down from heaven above. That's why we place greens during this Advent season in our homes and in our churches, to remember the reason. So come, all ye faithful, come and adore, as we prepare for the season like others before. And now we hang our Christmas wreaths. If you're sitting by the window, you can find them underneath. Christmas greens are symbols with rich meanings to share. I'll let you know if you really care. Laurels stand for victory, like on crowns we often see. And bay leaves stand for wisdom, which is an important key. Yew and cypress represent eternal life. And mistletoe, besides a kiss, brings peace in the midst of strife. Those leaves of holly that look so nice but often leave us sore remind us of the crown of thorns that Jesus once wore. A wreath is a circle, just one big bend, reminding us there's no beginning or end to God's love for us. It goes on forever, a connection of grace we cannot sever. Because of that baby that was born long ago, our lives are filled with blessings, even more than we know. He came and is coming, as scriptures do say. That's why we work together to prepare the way. Red is the color we begin to see as our poinsettias arrive with joy and with glee. Did you know from Mexico their story began, where they grew wild across the land? So why are poinsettias important today? Because they remind us of the star that led the way for the wise men to follow and find the child who was in the stable with his mother mild. Now on to Bethlehem our story does go, to the birthplace of Jesus so long ago. The King of the Jews they said he would be, so he must have been born somewhere really fancy. Was he born in a castle or in an upscale hotel, surrounded by rich and posh clientele? He could have been born just about anywhere, for with God on his side, he hadn't a care. But even though God was far more than able, Jesus was born in a humble stable. Surrounded by animals, he came to this earth. It was quite an unexpected birth, but one that would change the world as we know, once God came in Jesus to join us below. The final symbol we have to take out is a favorite to many, without a doubt. It's our Advent wreath that shines light on each week as we slowly move closer to that Christmas peak. A wreath once again with one endless bend to remind us that life with God has no end. There are candles of blue and pink and white that help count the weeks till that exciting night. Today we light the first one that's blue, and we remember what Advent prepares us to do, to have hope in our hearts as we prepare the way for the sacred celebration on Christmas Day. As the light each week from our wreath increases, we'll remember that God's light in our life never ceases. It will be even brighter on Christmas Day when we remember the gift that was born in the hay. So friends, as the hanging of our greens is complete, let's sing together the song we repeat year after year. All is calm, all is bright, as we prepare for that sacred silent night. Though the hanging of our greens is through, there's one more thing I'd like to do. I have one more story to make our day complete. It's a story about something we all love to eat. The story began in the town of Cologne, which is in Germany, far from our home. In 1670, as Christmas drew near, the choirmaster of a church was filled with fear. Christmas Eve, you see, was coming soon, and he was worried about the noise in the room. He wanted a silent, holy Christmas Eve, but with children present, he did not believe that there was anything to quiet the noise, because they were excited about getting new toys. Suddenly, an idea came into his head, and he rushed into town to see his friend Ed. Ed was a candy maker and good at his trade, and the kids in town loved everything Ed made. The choirmaster thought it would be a good fix to make all of the children some yummy candy sticks. Their mouths would be full. They'd be happy, right? But candy in church on Christmas Eve night? How could he justify something like that? He sat down in his chair and he took off his hat. With his head in his hands, he thought and he thought. What could he do? He was feeling distraught. Suddenly, he was inspired again. What if the sticks had a crook on one end? They'd be like the shepherds in the story that night, when the angels first gave them all a good fright. After the angels shared the good news of great joy, the shepherds went to see the new baby boy. With their crooks in their hands, they would head to the stable, and with crooks in kids' mouths, the choir master was able to hear a pin drop in the church all around on that first Christmas Eve when candy canes came to town.